Hey, Capricorn, Mel, intuitive coach here. Excited to bring in your January 2025 love and family reading. Welcome back if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right. Wow, Capricorn, your cards are going all over the place here. So that may feel like your emotions lately. Perhaps your emotions regarding a situation have felt like they were going in all different directions. But I see January is a month of an honest redress is what I'm getting. I do feel like there is an important conversation, important information, or this is, a time for you to really take a look at your relationships. Is there any sort of toxicity? Is there any sort of challenges that you need to address so you can work on and either move forward with someone or possibly make the difficult decision to part ways? For those of you that are single, I feel like it's time to work on yourself. You may have some emotional blockages that you're working on at this time. And I feel like the hope is mending, coming together and healing. What's the outcome here, please, for Capricorn? Thank you. Bottom of the deck here, we have Five of Swords in reverse. Some of you may have been dealing with the ego, either your own wounded ego or someone else's. This can also be the energy of arrogance. This can be someone taking advantage, someone not knowing how to properly address their feelings or even their mind. This person could also suffer from mental health issues, addictions, things of that nature. Now, Capricorn, in the past position, you have addiction showing up. So perhaps there was a relationship or a dynamic that played out for you that you felt chained to, or you wanted to help someone, but it feels like the addiction really got in the way of some sort of beautiful thing that could have blossomed. And I say could have because it just feels like someone wasn't willing to step out of the Five of Swords energy, because right behind it I have the Nine of Wands, which is resistance, and the Five of Wands is competition. And I see that there's been a lot of struggle with this energy, with this individual. Some of you, this is a sibling where some sibling of yours was always in competition. This could be a parent even who didn't have the emotional capacity or the mental capacity to be able to figure out how to get out of a cycle. And this could have stemmed from, early childhood. Maybe you've seen some addictions playing out. Now, addictions are so much more than just, substance abuse or drugs. Addictions can be to social media, gaming, gambling, external validation, attention. It can be workaholism. It can be codependencies. It's basically the devil energy here that keeps you bonded. It keeps you stuck in that obsessive pattern. And it can even be manipulation. You feel like you don't have an out. You feel like that devil has manipulated your brain, your feelings in some way. And sometimes this can even be a very strong energy of codependency. Codependent on someone or on a situation or a stimulant. Okay, someone could be on some sort of stimulant. But it's also about emotional blocks, possession, control, obsession, and restraints. So I feel like this past energy is coming up for a reason, because in the month of January, Capricorn, this is a month where you're really taking a look. Why? Because for one, Capricorn season, so happy birthday to you sun sign Caps out there, but you want to have that fresh start. You are stepping into another year. You are a year wiser. And I feel like it's important to open yourself up. and take a risk. Your overall energy is the poker face. Now, the Queen of Cups, that's your primary energy here in the month of January, she doesn't put on a poker face. She lays all of her hands out on the table. And that's what I feel like you are doing this month. And it may be uncomfortable. There could even be some sort of intervention is what I'm getting. An intervention with, a child or a parent or someone that you live with or a spouse or a partner. And you may be saying, we need to fix this. Something is very much causing conflict and it needs to be addressed now because we don't want to take this into 2025 with us. We don't want to keep the same pattern that may have played out in 2024 or even prior. Someone, though, maybe not willing to, they're not going to like it. It feels like there's an intervention that, of course, someone does not like. When they're being called out for their actions, they can throw a tantrum. And I feel like that may be the result of someone when you try to address an issue. Now, does that mean don't address it? No. It says that, it feels like that gives you the answer that you need as well to maybe not enable. Now, some of you may have been part of the problem, but that means that you can be part of the solution. Perhaps you may have been enabling someone by allowing the behavior to continue. It's like feeding the addiction in a sense. It's like allowing someone to, you want to care for them, you want to support them, you want to give them money to survive, but then they're using that money to buy stuff that's unhealthy for them. And it feels like you didn't want to cut them off in a sense because you love them, you care for them, but at the same time, it was kind of feeding their unhealthy dynamic. So I hope that makes sense here. Again, I just feel like there is a facing the facts and really coming to a new solution. Okay. Now, some of you in the near future, I feel like addressing this now is going to put you in a better place where you're able to maybe spend time with your friends. Someone was very controlling here in the past, and maybe they didn't want you to hang out with anyone else, including your own family. Now, if someone wanted to keep you all to themselves or they had a problem with a specific friend that you were with, I just feel like you're addressing those things now, or you may be looking back and saying, what was I thinking? Now, in the future, this is beautiful because you're having fun. This is about you potentially being happily single, or if you are in a relationship, I feel like it's more independent versus codependent. Instead of being attached at the hip, this is a little more freedom to kind of do as you wish in an independent manner if trust and loyalty and faithfulness are there. And if that's been a struggle because of this addiction, I feel like that needs to get looked at. Now, this is about living in the moment. And I see here your outcome energy collaborates with this as well because you're ready to explore options is what I'm picking up on here. Now, bottom of the deck, subconsciously what's happening is you're healing. You are healing, Capricorn, from maybe some sort of heartbreak. And look we have the word addiction again. So Cap, some of you are working through some addictions that have stunted or have hindered or challenged the growth of connectivity, the growth of collaboration, cooperation. Maybe someone does suffer from something, and part of your role is to heal yourself from this. So I see there's support coming in. Some of you I'm also seeing like Al-Anon or AA or sponsorship. So it certainly may have to do with some sort of substance or drug use. But I see that abusive relationships, or there may have been some sort of emotional or even physical, but I am getting emotional abuse, such as like gaslighting or stonewalling. If you're not familiar with those new age words, I feel like it's something you are getting familiar with because you don't want to have that happen to you again. Okay, you're healing from it because it's not fun. Now, starting off here, Cap, you have the Queen of Cups, which I just have to cover up there. The Queen of Cups is highly intuitive. She's highly sensitive to substances, to energies, to people, because she feels it all. And Capricorn, I feel like you may even have some strong water placements in your chart, possibly your top three. You could be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But I feel like the moon part of you is very activated, where you have some strong emotional ties, maybe mothering or nurturing instincts to take care of the loved ones around you, even if they're suffering. And some of you may have felt called to, again, be a healer or a caregiver. You may have even had to take care of, a child or an aging parent, someone who was struggling here mentally or health-wise or physically. But I see that your intuition is telling you that there's something to address, something to bring up. Maybe this has to do, excuse me, with you reaching out to someone who you know deep down that they have something that they're keeping hidden because maybe they're ashamed. Maybe there is something deeper to the story. And I feel like you know it. You know it, but they may be shamed to admit it, or they just don't want to deal with it. But we have to remember that we can lead a horse to water, we can't make it drink. It is not your responsibility or your duty to change or fix anyone. You can guide them, you can coach them, you can help them, but ultimately they have to be the ones that make that choice. Now, crossing you is the King of Wands. Some of you are dealing with a non-committal individual, someone who likes external validation. Now, King of Wands in the upright is full of integrity. He says what he means. He means what he says. He is true to his values. He has inner courage and strength. Now, when this is crossing your path, this is the challenge of the King of Wands. And the challenge of him can be a better than, like I'm better than everyone else type of personality. This can also be someone who's dominant, someone who's bossy, stubborn as a mule. This can be someone who's inflexible. And because I have the King and the Queen here, I feel like a lot of you are dealing with someone currently, or if this is, a past person, it's very much left an imprint, Capricorn. But for a lot of you, you're currently dealing with this individual. Now, you want them to hold true to what they say. You want them to commit to what they are saying, but it feels like their actions are not in alignment with their words, and that is causing difficulty. Now, what's below you? What's in the deep past? You have change. Something shifted along the way. This is the Wheel of Fortune. This is a renewal. It's a turning point. So it feels like there's been a turning point when it comes to matters of the heart or a specific relationship on your mind. And I feel like you've also dealt with this before, this type of energy that is. So whether it be by the same person, or you've dealt with numerous people that were very stubborn, very inflexible, but I feel like this time around, you have this emotional and intuitive intelligence that is guiding you. Now, in the recent past, we do have the Page of Wands, but it's in reverse. So Page of Wands says, I shut down expressing myself. Someone is expressing themselves maybe in unhealthy ways. Okay, they're closed off to being able to express. They may be numbing. They may be repressing even. They could be using some sort of an addiction to keep themselves in a state of non-growth or inactivity. It feels like there's a suffocation, and I'm getting that song, Suffocation, No Breathing. So I feel like someone feels like they're suffocating, and the Page of Wands showing up here in the recent past is immaturity. It is naivety, even impulsivity. Someone may even suffer from like ADHD or compulsive disorder, where they are very impulsive. Sometimes that King of Wands, right? He in reverse, has the mentality of a Page of Wands. He doesn't have the capacity here or the maturity to deal with things in a healthy way, and he may run from them. All right, Capricorn, what's above you? We have the Temperance, which represents here karma. Now, I recently heard the phrase kisma, if you're not familiar with that. I really love the word in itself, kisma, right? And it feels like it's the countermate of karma and kisma. But I feel like this is something you are looking at from all different angles, right? It's a balanced energy. The temperance is about patience. I feel like you have been patient with a situation or with a person, but it almost feels like it got out of control. Okay, this can be the addictive card as well. And I feel like there is an undertone of addiction here, either on your end, someone else's, that is interfering with this dynamic, and it has to be addressed. This is a karmic cycle or a lesson that is here for you to grow, here for you to evolve. Now, some of you may be saying, well, maybe this person in time, if I give them enough time, they'll change. If I give them enough, tender love and care, I'll love it out of them. I will love them enough. Well, they will want to be a better version of themselves. And that's where it goes back to that you can lead a horse to water, because I feel like someone here has to be willing to do the work, and it just feels like they're not at this time. So maybe what it is that you are meant to focus on is your higher wisdom, higher calling. You see the beautiful owl that is shining above here. There's a balance with the temperance. The temperance is the energy of protection. And I feel like you may have even been overprotective. For some of you, this is a child that suffers from some sort of an addiction even. Or this is possibly a lover, but you feel like you're more of a mother to this lover than you are an actual, partnership here. Maybe in a past life, because this can be past life energy, you have had to nurture or parent this individual, but you don't want that in this lifetime. You're meant to break the cycle. This person is meant to evolve and really embrace that King of Wands that they, excuse me, have the potential to be. But again, potential is just that. We shouldn't hang on to or wait a lifetime for someone to embrace their potential, because they may never, and that's up to them. We can't force that upon anyone. In the near future, excuse me, I see here the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles is putting in the work. It's labors of love. But when it shows up in reverse, you may be saying, well, I'm putting in the work, but I'm not getting anything in return. This is also about a workaholism. So this could be an addiction. Someone could be a workaholic. They could travel for work. Maybe they're never home. Maybe an over-the-road truck driver, or someone who's in business. They may travel often. They may be very much focused on their work. That could be the addiction that is coming between this dynamic. For others of you, I just feel like it has to be mutual. It has to be something that both of you can negotiate and work on. And you have to accept someone for where they're at now, not for their potential. And that's what I'm seeing being redressed here, being laid out on the table. Can you be with this individual for the energy that they are in now, even if it's, they're showing up potentially as a reverse Page of Wands, someone who's impulsive, someone who is non-committal, someone who is here for maybe a good time, not a long time. If you're okay with that, then you have to accept that and move forward instead of trying to make something what it's not. Okay. I feel like you want to put in the work here, but it feels like it's, you need to bring this about. Something has to get addressed so you can see the truth of it. And if someone keeps spinning in circles saying, yeah, that's what I want, or yeah, that'll happen, I just need to get to this level, or, we can commit when I get a better job, or, if they are making excuses, that's your sign. Okay. If they are telling you that it can happen, but you're not seeing the action, that's your sign. Now, in your energy, we have timing again. So there's something about really evaluating where you're at and taking a look at if there is growth. Now, how do you know if there's growth? With what I just said. Is someone putting in the work? Is someone willing to get help, or they're willing to negotiate or willing to compromise? Basically, is someone talking the talk, walking the walk, and staying consistent? Because someone can say something, right? They can tell you something, and then they can action it up for a day, for maybe even a week, maybe a month, but then they fall off of it and they go back to old patterns. So consistency is the key. Is this consistently growing? And that's what you're evaluating, and you're taking a look. Some of you, 7 years is significant. And I just said this in another reading. It may have even been Leo that's standing up. I can't recall. Maybe even Aries, maybe fire. Some of you could be dealing with a fire sign, Sag, Leo, Aries. But I do feel like 7 years is a big time for you, or time frame. Now, there's a song called 7 Years by Sully Erna, and it feels like I'm getting that same energy here that I was getting in the other reading about a cycle. A lot of times things come in sevens, right? The root chakra is formed in 7, between the ages of 0 and 7. We have, we have 7 main chakras. There are, something that needs to get spoken. Something needs to be addressed because it's been cold. Look at the winter all around the hands. So it feels like you want to bring warmth to a situation. You want to see if it has the potential to grow even in the cold or the harshest times. But there's more than one flower there. There's 2 flowers right next to each other. And if you are growing, but something else is not, I feel like that's what you need to address. What's going on in your environment? You're letting go of whatever's been consuming all of your time and all of your energy, because the 4 of Pentacles is consumption, right? This relationship or this addiction or this, situation has been consuming you. Your dream state, your waking life, it's what you talk about with your therapist, your family, your friends. It feels like this is something that's taken over your life. The fact that this is in reverse says, I need to get a grips on this. I need to focus on other areas of my life. That's codependency as well. If something has really pushed you into I need this. That's what addiction is. I need this, and that's all I can focus on and consume at this time. You're releasing, you're letting this go. Wow, Capricorn, this is an intense reading here, but you know what needs to happen. I feel like you know that you need to address something because you're a very grounded individual. You're a hard worker, and that bothers you when other people do not want to put in the effort, because you are such a strong, solid, hard worker. All you want is people to get along. All you want is cooperation. So the 3 of Pentacles is your hope, but it's also your fear. Your fear is someone not pulling their weight, not doing their best, not being a team player. There is no I in team. Why am I picking up the slack? Why am I the one that's nurturing and taking care of everyone? Why am I doing all the household chores? And I feel like what that will cause is bitterness, is resentment. You will start to hate the other person. And that's such a strong word. I don't say that often, but I feel like there's a fire. There's a fire coming in from the belly. Maybe that's that fire sign that I'm getting. It feels like there's some fiery emotion. Someone could be angry. Let that fire fuel you to take some steps moving forward. Now, don't let it fuel you in a way where you just, blow up at people or you want to burn it all down, but use that fire to motivate you to make a different choice. Because remember, what sits in the driver's seat of the chariot? Cancerian energy. And Cancer is emotion. Emotion is what drives us to make choices and decisions in our lives. Now, of course, we have to be logic about it. That's where the brain comes in. But ultimately, it's the feeling that moves us to take action. We want to feel good in our lives. We want to feel respected. We want to feel loved. We want to feel balanced. And I know that you can give those things to yourself, of course, but you also enjoy feeling that around you. Who doesn't? So the 3 of Pentacles showing up as your hopes and fears says, all right, let's figure this out and learn how to cooperate together. And if someone is not willing to do the work, then I'm not willing to keep putting in energy that is getting unnoticed. What's your outcome? You have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, yes, the Knight of Pentacles is slow moving, but at least he moves. He is the action taker. He is a knight. He's the slowest of all the knights, but he is exploring, exploring, and he wants to do it right. This is the most trustworthy, the most honest, the most reliable, the most dependable knight of all of them. And because I see mountains in her glasses, you can see that there are snowy caps. I see that you have some mountains to face here, Capricorn, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but the good news is I see you starting to climb, and that may mean climbing on your own, okay? That may mean that you leave behind people, but you're dressed for it. Look at her. I mean, she's dressed for it. She is protected. She's ready. She's got her goggles on. She's got a nice heavy winter coat. So this tells me that you have everything you need to face, what's ahead of you, but you can also move forward with the eyes of exploration. This doesn't have to be like a mountain that you are dreading. I actually feel like you have the ability here to stay disciplined with your choices. This is about details as well, detail oriented. This is resources. This is patience. This is hard work. And ultimately, it's about you being loyal to your path. Okay, you being loyal to your path, which means making sure that you're taking care of your needs as well. Capricorn, that is what I have here for you with the tarot. Let's get a message from the wisdom of the oracle. What do we have, please, for Capricorn? Building blocks. Yep, you're addressing the cracks in the foundation at this time. You may be looking at a marriage or a union that you are in and really saying, can I continue to grow if my person is stuck at ground zero or ground level? If they have some addictions, can I continue to grow and to build and accept them for who they are without trying to change them? Because that's their choice. They have to be willing to change and want that for themselves. Or are there some new bricks that I need to pull out of the foundation so I can replace them with something more solid? Because I see that you've built a life for yourself. You've built something quite strong, actually, quite solid. And I feel like this is you. You have built a life for yourself and your family and the people around you. 28 could be a significant number. Some of you are born on the 28th, maybe the 8th or even the 18th. January could be a big month on the 28th where you're going to see that the building blocks and your hard work are paying off. You could see something starting to move forward here. I also see if you do have a loved one that you're not going to leave out in the cold per se, but you're going to give them a little bit of a boundary. Okay, maybe this is a child that, maybe they are gaming too much. Maybe they are not focusing on healthy patterns that could benefit their lives. I feel like you are crossing them in a boundary way, but they're going to respect you for it. Even if it feels like they're resisting now, I just feel like there will be some sort of respect, but you have to stick to your guns. That's what this Knight of Pentacles does. He's disciplined. He doesn't always like to see it, but that's where the growth is at. And the growth you see is in her eyes. That's the mountain. So even though it can be challenging, it can be uncomfortable, you're protected. Okay, you're protected. And I also feel like this energy here, in a way, is part of their journey. It's part of their evolution. And I feel like there's a protection with that Temperance, which, by the way, Temperance is Sag. That's fire. Some of you are dealing with a fire sign. Okay, that's coming up a few times. But I do feel like you're taking a look at how to solidify or how to strengthen some of these connections and how to set some healthier boundaries going into the new year. All right, Capricorn, let's get a message from the crystal spirits. And at this time, if you can safely do so, please close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath from your solar plexus chakra. Nice big inhale from the belly. Hold it as long as you can. And release through the mouth with a nice deep sigh. And with your eyes still closed, tune into your third eye chakra, the area between your eyebrows and your forehead region. And I want you, Capricorn, to imagine the first crystal or gemstone that shows up in your mind's eye. Now your crystal could hold a specific shape, size, or color. Perhaps heart-shaped. Perhaps it fits into the palm of your hand. Your gemstone could be tumbled, polished, perhaps in its rawest form. Maybe it's clustered or has points. This could even be a pendant or a piece of jewelry. Maybe it's giving off hues of blue, orange, purple, or green. You might even know the name of the crystal in your mind's eye. And if not, just focus on the energies that it's giving off. Perhaps that of unconditional love, strength, power, and protection. There is no right or wrong answer, Capricorn. And if you need a moment, just pause the video and come back when you are ready. And for those of you that would like to be entered into the free monthly reading giveaway, where I draw one winner around the first of the month and post right back here on the channel, all you need to do is drop whatever crystal you are seeing in your mind's eye, whether that be the name, the color, the shape, the size, or even the energies that you are feeling emanating from it. Drop that below. Be sure to hit that subscribe and bell button so you don't miss that notification. And I, again, will choose one winner on the first of the month. You have here Spessartine Garnet. So some of you, garnet is your crystal. This is about charm and charisma, shining and sparkling, being a brilliant beacon of confidence that inspires others. When it comes to your relationships, you are a unique being with a light only you can emit. Do you think you have to work harder to make people like you? What if your soulmate is out there waiting for you to stop trying so hard and just be your glorious, amazing, brilliant self? What if your soulmate is waiting for your beacon to send out the message, I am here and I am ready for a partner to shine with me? Today is a good day to recognize all that is attractive in you and stop trying to hide it out of some sort of fear that others might not be comfortable seeing you in all of your glory. Shine brightly today. I love that for you, Capricorn. Yeah, shine brightly today. And that's part of that the Queen of Cups energy. You know, she does shine that light. And it's important that you don't dim that light through taking on other people's stuff and it weighs you down. It kind of burns out your own light. When you meditate with this crystal, it can be challenging because the energy feels like a bossy cheerleader. And that's kind of the undertone I was getting a little bit. It's like you have some guides, you have some energies that are coming in. Maybe this King of Wands, if you are not dealing with anyone else and this is part of you, maybe this is that bossy cheerleader with the King of Wands coming in, but that may intimidate you. That may kind of cross you in a way where it makes you feel uncomfortable. But we don't grow in our comfort zone. I feel like you are meant to get uncomfortable because that's you addressing the building blocks here in your life. This stone is a must for building and finding your self-confidence, personal power, and creativity. Spessartine Garnet asks you to stand up straight, hold your head high, and strut your stuff. Beautiful. So that is what I have for you, Capricorn. If you like the message, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And thank you so very much for tuning in. Lots of love.